Good morning, lovelies. Happy Tuesday morning. Do we serve a God who's passive, or do we serve a God who works? Let's talk about it. Jesus, coffee. So, do we serve a God who just sits on his throne and waits to be served? Or do we serve a God who serves us and works? Good morning, Felipe. What's going on, my young brother? My young warrior. So let's start, and we've talked about it in the past when we went through creation. Genesis 1:1, first verse in the Bible. In the beginning, God created. God made man. God creates. God works. He's a working God. He's not a passive God. He doesn't just sit on his throne and wait to be served. He sent his Son to serve, not to be served. He's a working God. Working in so many ways. Not only did he physically work in creating you, he physically worked in creating you. Let's go into that. Let's talk about Psalm 139, which we've talked about before. For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works. He's a working God. He not only does he physically work in creating us, but he works in our heart too. So, as I'm going through the Bible in a year, I'm going through Joseph right now, which that's just a story all in itself, and such an amazing story of patience, not leaning on your own understanding, but trusting in God and watching what God does in your life. Such an example of how to trust God and what God does when you trust him. So, you guys have heard me talk about Romans 8:28. God turns, for those who love God, he turns everything for our good. For those who love him and are called according to his purpose, he turned everything for our good. Well, Genesis 50:20, which is a verse in Joseph, where Joseph's actually talking to his brothers who sold him into slavery after they find out that he is now second in command under Pharaoh over all of Egypt. Here's what you're going to see God work here. Here's what he tells his brothers in 50:20, which great verse. I call it a twin to Romans 8:28, but as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. So again, God working there. What his brothers meant for evil, because his brothers wanted to kill him. His brothers wanted to kill him because he was his father's favorite. He was Jacob's favorite son. But one of his brothers was like, no, don't kill him. Let's sell him into slavery. So that way his blood wasn't on their hands. And that's what he did. And God turned that in Joseph's life. But we'll go through Joseph and everything he went through. But God is a working God. He works in your heart. So whatever you're going through, and I don't know who needs to hear it, but whatever you're going through, if maybe you're struggling with an addiction, maybe you're struggling with some grieving, maybe you're struggling with strength and boldness and whatever you're struggling with, know that God has you. He's got you right in his hands. He never leaves us, never forsakes us, and always loves us. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes we gotta look around and go, "Oh God, where are you? Are you here? Are you with me? What's going on?" He's always working in your heart. Whenever you take a test, Felipe, when you're in school and you're taking a test, brother, the teacher isn't sitting there whispering the answers, is he? No. He's not whispering the answers. He's letting you figure out the answers for yourself. And that's where prayer comes into play, guys. That's where talking to God comes into play. Talking to God and going, "Where are you in this, God? I need you. I need you because I can't do this on my own." We give it to him, we lay it at the cross, we give it to him, and we watch him work. He's a working God. He's not a passive God. Always working for our good. So, just kind of on my heart this morning, and so I figured, that's what God wanted to talk about. He needed to tell somebody that he's working. He's working in your back. He's working in the back. He's working in the quiet to take care of breaking that chain, turning what's evil into good. Trust him. Wait on him. Talk to him. Don't give up on him because he doesn't give up on you. He doesn't leave you, doesn't forsake you. Never will. Wait on him and trust. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, which just means to submit to him and surrender to him. And he will direct your path. He will direct your path, not you. He'll direct it. So don't ask him for what you think you need. When you pray and you're asking him, pray for him to give you what he knows you need, because he's already been and he's already walked your tomorrow. You haven't, but he's already walked your tomorrow, and he knows exactly what you need. So when you pray and you're asking him, ask him for what you know, what he knows you need, and he'll give it to you. Good morning, my brother. What's up, Craig? Man, stay warm up there, brother. I see you're working with that plow, getting her dirty. I love you guys. I'm going to go save some lives with some plasma. Donate some plasma. We'll be back tomorrow with whatever Dad wants to talk about. I love when he wants to talk.